The best strategy when dealing with a pressure fighter is to always use some good footwork, know when to move your head. When the opportunity comes, initiate that clinch, stifle them in their tracks with good head movement and pick your shots. Land those shots, and then if you have an opportunity, nothing wrong with shooting a takedown, getting that takedown to slow them down, and then if you can, man, it's always great to threaten with submissions. In this video, I'm going to show you guys how to deal with these pressure fighters. Here we go.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Are you listening?
Ricky J. Sports.
All right, everybody, before we get into some pre-recorded matches, I thought I would come on here, make a quick stop inside the UFC gym, and talk about some strategies when dealing with these pressure fighters. Now, the first thing I want to talk about is circling, okay? Now, to circle, you hold L1 and right analog up or down. If you're an Xbox guy, I believe it's LB and right analog up or down. And you want to do this at the end of your opponent's combos when they're marching forward. You want to do it when you're outside a kicking and punching range. And you want to also do that when you can anticipate a straight shot coming at you. And the last thing you want is to be stuck up against the cage while they're banging out combos and taking you out. So we're going to roll the tape. We're using GSP. So Perry's coming forward. See, I'm circling away at the end of his combos or on straight shots. So if I can anticipate a straight shot, you can circle away, boom, and establish the center of the octagon. And when you're dealing with these pressure guys, you want to establish that center of the octagon, and you want them to basically blow out their stamina, and you'll have more room when you're at the center to move around, and you're not going to get stuck up against the cage. The last thing you want is to get stuck up against the cage. Another cool strategy that you could do is you could push your opponent away. And this is so cool when they're up in your face and you feel like you have no space. You could push them away. Now to do that, it's R2 and your lead uppercut command for you PS4 guys. For you Xbox guys, it's RT and the lead uppercut command, okay? So see that? You could push them away. Now let's roll the tape and get Perry to kind of march forward and throw shots. So say he's in our face, push him away just to create some space and to allow you, you could back away, you could circle away. I feel like that's a great strategy just to kind of slow them down a little bit. If you feel like you're being overwhelmed by these pressure guys, there's nothing wrong with just pushing away and backing away. And this is going to be a great strategy to just give you some time to think, give you some time to just reset. And to do that, it's R2 and R1 for you PS4 guys. For Xbox, it's RB and RT. So see that? Boom. If I go the other way, same thing. Doesn't matter if you're in Orthodox or in Southpaw. It's the same thing. And this is fantastic. Let's run the tape. Let's see how Perry comes at us. He's coming at us. Jeez, it's too much to handle. I could easily just back away, and then I'm allowed to circle. I'm allowed to establish that center of the octagon and hopefully make my opponent just drain out when it comes to their stamina. So that's a great thing to think about as a game plan to just get away from their onslaught of attacks. Now, a great strategy to have when dealing with these pressure fighters is the slip straight, man. And the slip straight is great to use because you're going to stop your opponent in their tracks. And another thing too is they're going to think twice about the amount of quantity of shots that are coming your way because they know that you have a great counter dealing with their shots. So to slip straight, you just lean to the side just a little bit and throw that straight. I'm not holding L1 or LB because then I'm going to throw a hook and it comes out slower. I just slip to the side, and you got to time it. I wouldn't recommend getting inside and doing it just because your opponent's going to read you and throw a hook or an elbow and hurt you. So you can't slip an elbow or a hook because they're going to really hurt you if you do that. But out in this range, in straight shot range, you're going to be able to slip to the side and really hurt your opponent and stop them in their tracks. So we're going to see if we could do it against Perry. So Perry's coming our way. Bam. See that? I just leaned to the side. He caught me right there. See that? You just lean to the side and you're going to be able to stop them in their tracks, and they are going to, like I said, think twice about their attack. Another cool trick when it comes to head movement is the pull counter, and you could pull back, you could lean back a little bit, you could even do the major lean back right there where you take that step back and lean back and hit them with shots, and you could interrupt that animation. Once you throw your punch, you could interrupt the animation and counter. So I could lean back holding L1 and right analog, left or right. In this case, it's going to be left, or LB for you Xbox guys, and get out of the way and then hit them with a nice counter shot. You could also plant your feet and just lean back like this by moving your right analog stick. But there's various strategies to get out of the way of their shots. So we're going to play it right here, see what we could do against Perry. See that? You just lean back and hit him with shots. Moving the head is so important. Down goes Perry. Let's see if we could do one by holding L1 or LB. So he comes at me. There, see that? Just step back, lean back, and we're good to go. So try these strategies, man. Head movement, as he's tagging me right here. Head movement is so important when dealing with these guys. If you can time them, see that? Comes overcommits on a shot, and you could take him out. If you time it, you are going to do good things against these guys. There he goes again. Look at Perry. But let's get into the fights right now. I cannot wait to show you some examples of me going up against these pressure fighters. Let's go. All right, everybody, here we go. The first fight of 3. And in this matchup, I was going up against Silky NYC, and he was using Dotson. And holy smokes, Dotson is so fast and powerful in this division. And look how my opponent, Silky, man, he's coming out. He's coming out, guns a-blazing, banging out combos, and right away he has me on my bicycle. He has me on my bicycle, and the first thing I'm thinking is, you know, don't stand there and throw crazy shots with them, because you know I'm going to get the worst of it. I'm going to try to get on my bike, back away, circle away, hit him with shots, try to establish that center of the octagon, because I'm thinking to myself, I don't think he can keep up this pace for 3 rounds, man. So I'm just being very careful, covering my face. I managed to grab a leg right here. I trip him up and try to get on the mat and throw some ground and pound, but I couldn't. As you see, I'm spamming the punch button right there. I'm trying to get to the mat, and I totally failed. But in my head, you know, I'm like, I really want to get this fight to the mat just because I feel like this guy's a beast on the feet, and he does a nice job circling away, and holy cow, I held down R2 so hard, I thought I was going to break my controller, and then I decided to use that stiff arm and back away, just trying to create space, just trying to get some breathing room, so to speak, because this guy is a beast. Look at him. I'm sure he's knocking out guys in the first round in the majority of his fights. He hits me with a nice combo right there. But again, I'm even disguising it too, trying to get into striking range, thinking I'm going to engage, and then I pop out, then I pop back in, and right here, I clock him as he's leaning the wrong way, and then I knock him down with a nice combo. Not really a devastating combo, but I had decent stamina, and then I shooting a takedown. And that's another thing too, man. You got to throw a mixed bag of mixed martial arts at these guys, not just against pressure fighters, against any fighter online, man. You really have to be unpredictable, and that's what I was doing here. You know, most guys would go for the finish after getting their opponent rocked, but I'm like, you know what? This is where I feel the most safe. I do a nice job denying that transition, that new transition, R2 and up to deny it. And then I'm trying to, you know, land some shots, but I'm being mindful of my stamina, you know, because I don't want him to reverse me. I don't want him to get me in a submission. But I'm remaining pretty calm right here. But I was calm up until I botched this transition attempt. You know, I actually thought he was going to the right there, and I totally missed it. But then I continued to be active. That's another thing too, man. I'm not just going to stand there or not just going to lie there and let guys just pound on me. You got to be active, especially against these pressure guys. You got to let them know, man, that I do a nice job right there hitting triangle before him, but you got to let them know that you're not just going to lie there and take shots. You're going to be active in every avenue of fighting. And right here, he's circling back and forth. It's pretty close. Is he going to escape? Am I going to submit him? Look at this. It's even. Oh, And it was crazy, judging by the timeline, that submission timeline, it looked like he made it to the end. It looked like he escaped. But I don't know, man. We managed to get the final jolt right there, and we got the submission. But that was a crazy fight. A lot of things happened in such a short period of time, but I remained composed. I threw everything at him, man. I gave him some decent stand-up, gave him some wrestling, and threw in some jiu-jitsu, and got the tap. So that's the first fight. Holy smokes, what a battle. Now let's get into the second fight. All right, people, here we go. We're facing a high-level fighter right here, man. This guy has some great points, and he's using, holy smokes, a woman that a lot of people fear, man. A lot of people fear for sure. In the real world and inside the virtual octagon, and she is amazing. Cyborg and Psycho Joe is ready. This was pretty interesting, man. This was a pretty interesting fight because, you know, you got to respect a guy with that many rank points, and when they're using Cyborg, you got to be just so mindful of the heat that's coming your way. And again, I'm on my bicycle again. On my bicycle, moving back, using some head movement, establishing the center of the octagon, not going crazy. He gets the clinch, and I'm like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? But I'm just trying to be very composed, especially when you use Holly Holm. You know, you could fight on the outside and be very successful, and that's what I'm doing right here. I do a nice job slipping, throwing a slip straight combo right there, followed by another combo, and then I hit him with a hook, followed by a straight and roundhouse kick, drop him. And that's a lot that happened in that quick little window of time. That's why I slowed it down for you guys. And then right here, I'm going to empty out the gas tank just because I felt like I had the opportunity to finish the fight. And there you have it. And what started that all was the slip straight, man. That's what started it all. If I didn't slip, I think he would have continued to push forward and hit me with shots. So head movement is such a key factor in dealing with these pressure fighters. What a fight. Respect to my opponent. Holy smokes. You know he's going to get me the next time, that's for sure. But let's get into the third and final fight. Here we go. All right, here we go. The third and final fight. And we're up against Tougher 2014. And we're using Thug Rose. And here we go. And it was crazy how he came out right away. It looked like he was going to just back away and, you know, just be very passive. And then he comes in there, throws a front kick, then tries to get me in the clinch. And then right away I'm thinking to myself, you know what? He's doing a nice job by using that front kick to just get into punching range. I got to make him pay when he does that. And I was hitting him with some great shots. But the one thing that was worrying me was the fact that he was trying to get the clinch, man. He was trying to get the clinch as he got in close. So I was doing a nice job just not staying as a stationary target, moving around, hitting him with a shot here and there, but then backing away. See that? He tried to get me inside there, tried to get me in the clinch, but then I'm firing back, man. I'm firing away. I sidestep his clinch attempt right there. That's another thing that you could do. You know, you don't just have to move your head. You could easily sidestep away from those clinch attempts. And he's throwing a lot of kicks too, and I'm thinking too, I could sidestep that front kick. I just flick that left analog down or up just to sidestep out of the way, and then I can make him pay. And then I go for an ankle pick, and then I get up on top. And then again, the straw weights, especially Rose, man, she has, you know, decent stand-up, but the power's just not there, man. So I really was mindful that it's going to take a while, man. I'm not going to be able to take these guys out, you know, compared to the upper weight classes. It's going to take a lot. But right here, I do a fantastic job just stunning my opponent. And this is where I'm like, you know what, I got to... Yeah, so most guys usually do that where they'll transition into full guard and then go the other way. I pre-denied that, man. I totally pre-denied that. But this is exactly where I wanted the fight to be. Wanted to slow the pace down. And again, this is 5 rounds. And some people were saying, they're like, you can't do 5 rounds on ranked. Yes, you can, man. Unless my game is wacky, 5 rounds are definitely happening. In this position here, this is the position that I worry about the most. Because when you try to finish your opponent and you don't, and they transition and get your back, the fight could end for you right away. So you know that position right there, posturing up and backside there. That's a crazy, crazy position. It's dangerous because you think it's the end of the road, and man, you can get reversed and finished immediately. But here I'm doing a good job, but the one thing I started worrying about was my stamina. You know, he gets up right here. I'm looking at my stamina. I'm like, how am I going to continue this pace? You know, I definitely got this round. If it was a third round fight, you know, I wouldn't be too worried about my stamina because all I got to do is just put together another decent round, and then in the third round I could just survive. But when it's a 5-rounder, your whole mindset changes. So I was a little worried, I'll be honest with you, after that first round. Even though, like I said, I felt like I won that round, the stamina game was worrying me. But I got a pretty decent boost right here. As you see, the start of this round, my stamina's decent. But again, this guy Tuffer's making it. He lives up to his name. He's making it tough, man. For me, I know that was terrible. But he's making it tough for me to just get comfortable and, you know, get my shots going. Just because fearing the clinch, and that's the one thing. Fearing the power of Zhang, man. So I decided to shoot a takedown, and yeah, I had to do it. I just had to do it because in this game, to eat all those clinch strikes, it's totally going to drain out your stamina. And I'll be honest with you, I really feel like they got to fix that part of the game. Because a lot of people, and you saw the last video, yeah, you know it, man. A lot of people are spamming the clinch. And even if you're not hurting your opponent, you're totally draining their stamina. I do a nice job here. I see him posting a lot. So I decide to go with straight strikes. But back to my point on the clinch, that's the one thing that I feel like they need to improve on. And also, I feel like they need to improve on the posturing up ground and pound. You know, I said it, if you've been following me for a month or so, I said it since the beta. They got to slow it down. Just got to slow it down a little bit. Just because it's so hard to read, you know, when your opponent's landing shots and you're on the bottom. Let me know if you agree with that, but sometimes I feel like you're just kind of guessing. I really feel like they should tax your stamina when you miss or when your opponent blocks one of your shots, but they got to slow it down. Let me know if you agree with that. But back to this fight. You know, it was a great start to this second round for me. I noticed that my opponent, he's kneeing me to the body and then kneeing me up top as well. So I'm worried about that. That's why I'm trying to back up. Try to avoid the clinch. That's what I'm trying to do. Just trying to avoid it. I'm also trying to get my opponent to miss. But my opponent is still pushing forward, making it uncomfortable. Holy smokes. It got to the point too where I'm thinking, you know what, I gotta get this fight to the mat. I really do. I can't continue playing this game. You know, and I like how my opponent now is switching up his game plan. But after, you know, starting off pushing forward, he is kind of backing up a little bit. He does a nice job mixing up the clinch and then hitting me with a nice kick right there. But all in all, you know, I got 2 rounds in the books. We got 3 more to go. And I felt like I was doing pretty good. I really did. But in my mind, like I said, I'm thinking, gotta get this fight to the mat. And when you use Thug Rose, her jiu-jitsu is out of this world. And I know a lot of people think of her as like a very good stand-up fighter, but her jiu-jitsu is better than her stand-up. Here he goes. My opponent comes out, throwing some nice shots right here. And I gotta give Tuffer some credit, man. Big time credit, because he's backing away now. He's understanding that this is 5 rounds. He needs to pace himself. And I'm thinking the same thing right here. Oh, I made a mistake. Did you see that? I made a mistake by moving back with the left analog stick. Oh, nice job by Tuffer. Denying my judo throw. But again, look at my stamina. Those knees. Tax them. And I'm hoping they patch that out. And don't issue such a penalty on the person absorbing those shots, especially when you're blocking them when it comes to the stamina game. But right here, I get her back. He does a nice job avoiding me getting that backpack, but I get it again. And look at that. That reminds me of Matt Hughes. Oh man, was that the Hughes-Newton fight? Oh, I can't remember. But right here, I get into a nice submission. Get the armbar, and I'm really good with the joint locks. You know, joint locks are my bread and butter. Especially over, you know, chokes. Look at this right here. Frank Trigg. It finally came to my mind. That little sequence before reminded me of Hughes versus Frank Trigg. And look at this. I'm being very calm and cool. Am I gonna get it? Ah, I managed to get it. And there you have it. Throwing everything out there just to try to deal with these pressure fighters. That's what you gotta do, man. That's what you gotta do. You gotta, you know, maintain your composure, number one. Use that footwork. Use head movement. Understand, you know, take advantage of those opportunities to go for takedowns. You could clench if you want to. And then always threaten with submissions, man. Oh, yeah. But there you have it, people. I'll end off this video. This video is getting way too long. Those are my thoughts on beating the pressure fighter. Let me know if you agree. Let me know what other tips, that you have that you want to share with all of us. I would love to hear it. But as always, thank you so much for the support. This is Ricky J. All the best to you and yours, man. I'm out of here.